everybody.
We're just setting up and about to begin within, what, 30 seconds?
Yeah, maybe 30 or 45 seconds.
Hi, guys.
Just welcoming you in. Zest for Life, Barcelona.
Yeah, we are going to get zesty sadly, for a last time.
Yeah, it's an emotional day. It's an emotional evening.
Yeah.
Should we begin?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's begin.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. I decided to dress up for our final show.
Yeah, I was like, I saw him and he was all like dressed up. I was like, what are you up to tonight,
Show everybody what I'm wearing here.
Yeah.
Not bad. So what's new and good, Vesna?
Yeah, what's new and good? Well, I started meditation.
Indeed, that's true. We're going to talk more about this method later.
We're going to talk about that more after
course.
this. What's been new and good? I'm going back home next week on Wednesday to visit family again for a week.
It's been a couple of weeks since we've been together.
Yes, that is true. How long have you been away for?
3 weeks, I think. It was 3 weeks since
it. 3 weeks, yeah. But it just goes, it flies by.
Fast.
Well, I'm sure that everybody knows what's new and good in Barcelona.
Yeah, some stability. There's a level of stability here.
Yeah, some kind of a level of stability or a bit of a more peace, like
calmer.
Yeah, calmer, and everybody seems to just get on with their lives and keeping a positive attitude because that's the spirit of Barcelona, despite all the BS that we've been facing.
Indeed.
What have I done? Why do I always have to
don't
think?
know.
It's like, because I didn't do too many things or anything special over the weekend, apart from, going up the hill, like spending time in nature. I'm rebuilding my website again.
Okay.
Again. I don't know.
Vesnagino.com.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you for the credit. And as much as it's frustrating, and I'm thinking, when am I because I can be quite a perfectionist, and I don't seem to be able to flow unless it's done. But maybe that's exactly what life is trying to teach me, to be able to flow within, when things are not completely finished.
Sure.
But I also enjoy the process.
Yeah, like a river doesn't think about that it's not perfect, the riverbed. It just flows.
It's just a river.
Just flows.
It's either still or it flows. It's still a river.
It's just water.
It's just water, exactly. Be water, my friend.
That's it. Just be water.
Just be water,
Okay.
I'm going to remember this one because when I wake up in the morning, like if you start feeling like shit or whatever, I'm like, just be water.
Yeah,
my
what
friend.
would water do?
Yeah. Water will just flow, or water will be still,
right.
and will reflect on the sun.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Anything else new and good? That's enough for now, maybe.
I've had more wine than I should.
Okay.
I say it's good.
Tasty wine, nice wine.
Tasty wine,
That's
always good.
Only
wine.
the best.
Always the
Good.
fruity wine.
Oh, good. Nice.
And sometimes it's just good to get loose.
That's right. We've talked about that in that first few episodes. We talked about that.
Yeah.
When it's good to be bad.
Jesus, what's going on?
That's the truth.
Yeah. I think we've been missing each other for too long, Matthew. That's why we're
It's
so
time to
synchronized
connect.
now. We're already connecting.
Ta-da-da-da.
So go on, tell me about
New and good for me.
Switzerland.
I spent some time in Switzerland. I spent some time in Italy. It was beautiful. I ate really good food. I spent time with people who really love me and support me. It was great to be in Bellinzona with Shannon and Christian and my little buddy Skylar. If you guys want to see on Instagram, we had him on my back. We were running around in Bellinzona. I spent some time with my friend Danny in Bern and his roommates as well. We had a good time. I saw some beautiful light shows up there. My business partner and I had our first consultation today. It went really well. So
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. thecocoachingspot.com. You can go there now if you want. We're still unveiling it slowly, but for those of you who are viewing, it's called thecocoachingspot.com.
The co-coaching spot.
That's right. It's a unique kind of coaching.
He's saying it with such a passion.
Oh, I'm very passionate about it. .com. So that's really cool.
La Punta.
La Punta. And so that's really great. What else? I've been accepted to speak at a church in Florida about my book. I'm going to speak about that. I'm recording it. This is more coming in the future, but these things got confirmed since I spoke with you last. Like I'll be recording the audio version of my book. That's really cool. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm very energized. There we go.
You see this one?
Hi, guys.
Listen to this one.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
I'm buzzing. I'm definitely buzzing right now. And I'm dressed well. That also helps.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Yeah. You should have done this last night.
Well, I know. That's the typical thing. But I was working last night. I couldn't actually. Yeah, I was just busy working.
Okay. So last night, as we all know, it was Halloween. You know, I
indeed.
hope you all had a great time. Happy Halloween to everybody.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
And boo-boo. I don't get scared.
No.
No, I do. I do. I'm lying. I don't like. I don't like horror movies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, seriously, because after that, I just think that these people are in my room.
I'm super sensitive to what's on the television screen as well. I don't usually watch them. Yeah.
Yeah, I like light, you know, inspiring things.
Yeah.
But it's always nice to dress up for Halloween. You know, like I haven't done it for such a long time, and I was gonna do it last night, but then I was too tired to do it. It's just it gives opportunity to people to really be whoever they've wanted or desired to be. You know, like their favorite, like maybe movie part, you know, movie star, or some scary mask. You know, it really like lets you and gives you the ability to just be silly and come out of your own persona.
And explore a different aspect of yourself. Because it's already there in you. It's just that you get to express it further.
You get to by expressing it further, you know, it gives you the opportunity to explore yourself.
Indeed.
Because otherwise it's only in your mind. But when you actually start to express it with your body and stuff, that other real side of you comes out.
Yeah. What's the last thing that you dressed as when you did dress?
So the last thing that was actually last February, March in Macedonia for Macedonian Halloween, which is not Halloween, but it's called Pročka.
Pročka.
It's something similar. I was dressed as
movie character?
No, animal.
Animal.
Not
tiger.
Not the tiger.
Panther.
Not the panther.
Puma.
The puma.
Puma.
Yeah.
Wow, how did I know that? Okay, because it's okay.
Yeah, and I loved it. Yeah. It was really fun. But Pročka is a Macedonian traditional holiday. Yeah. That they celebrate it throughout the day and in the evening. But it starts like from the morning, and they've got carnivals on the streets, and people go to places. They collect candies. They collect money as well.
Okay,
yeah. So usually, like with family members, when the kids come, you know, dressed up in masks and stuff, usually you give them, you know, some money,
a little bit of cash, a little bit of change.
Yeah. We prefer cash.
Come on.
We prefer cash. We're the bulk.
I understand. Okay.
But the nature of the holiday of Macedonian Halloween is. It's basically, if I translate it, would be Day of Forgiveness. So, Pročka, it means forgiveness. It's like a day when you forgive for the mistakes that you did, and for the people that you have hurt, or for the wrongdoings that you've done towards others.
My friends that are of the Jewish faith, I think I seem to remember there's something similar to this in the Jewish faith, but if you can comment below, let me know, because I don't remember if it was Yom Kippur or Rosh Hashanah where something like this happens. I don't know, but yeah, okay.
So I find it quite nice, you know, it's a good way of maybe re-establishing relationships.
So how do you balance the getting dressed up and do you get dressed up there as well, or no?
We do get dressed up for that day.
And then there's also giving things out, and then there's also forgiving.
So basically that is the last day when you actually have the opportunity where you wear your mask. Okay. The mask is the personality that you put up front. When you lie, you're wearing a mask.
Got it. So when you've been inauthentic with people in your life.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they celebrate for that.
It's a cool one. Yeah. I like it.
I like it too.
Okay. Well, so we want to talk about
money too.
Oh, the money as well. I think with all cultural traditions, there's some underlying meaning. There's a reason why. Like for in the States, we have Thanksgiving, which I'll be going to this year, and it's probably one of the only times that people consciously give thanks to. For what's in their life and amongst the people that they care about. And it's very powerful when you give thanks amongst the people that you love.
Fat.
Well, that's also, there's a lot of eating.
So much food, man.
Yeah, as well.
So much food
for sure. Oh yeah, it's an overwhelming amount, that's for sure.
Good food, don't get me wrong.
For sure. So I get interested in looking at the underpinnings of all these rituals and these cultural rituals. I think there's power to that. When you look at it and find out what's actually going on, then you can use it as an opportunity to connect with a part of yourself that you wouldn't normally connect with, like this part about being authentic. I think that's great. It's great. We don't have anything like that, I don't think, in American
culture. And it's also, you rebound, you get the chance to see people that you haven't seen for a long time. Like usually, like my mom couple of days up from beforehand, you know, she just prepares like different cookies and sweets, and like it's a tradition. So the house is open all day, and there's lots of food on the table. So people come, they have some drinks, in and out. They keep on coming with their, you know, some friends of my dad with their own kids, and you know, so it's nice. It's a good day, you know, of kind of really touching base with the people you haven't touched base. And
we did our research about where the underpinnings of Halloween came from.
The actual Halloween,
and
yeah.
Samhain? I don't know how you say it.
Yeah, it's Samhain.
Samhain.
That's how they translate it.
The Celts up in Northern Europe.
Yeah, 2,000 years ago originally began. And basically, 1st of November was the first year, that's when they were celebrating New Year. So that was actually the Halloween, the Samhain that day. But they started dressing up the night before and put masks and things because they believed back in those days that all the ghosts from the dead used to come out, you know, and collect food and eat, you know, and go back and visit their own pueblo, their own neighborhoods where they were. So people would take food out and leave it at the front door.
That's where the whole candy thing comes from in the States, you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Leave it at the front door, so when the ghosts, you know, they pass by for Halloween. So this is how it originally started. And then it evolved in France, you know, in England, and then it was moved to Ireland, I think, took it to USA.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history to this stuff. It's fascinating.
And now it's just a one big, you know, very profitable market.
Indeed. It's a lot of fun as well.
It's so much fun, yeah.
I agree.
It's a really good holiday. I like it.
We're going to talk about like this aspect of exploring different parts of yourself is another aspect of the modern part of Halloween. Because in the past, as you were saying, it was really the idea was just to scare off these spirits of the dead. But now it's not really that anymore. It's more like an opportunity to explore different parts of yourself. And I was thinking when we were talking about it last night, I'm like, you know, when people dress up in drag as well, it's also like an opportunity to explore a different part of yourself. So, you know,
that's something I cannot explore, but you can tell me.
There are actually drag kings. There are women that dress up like men. That's the thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's not probably as powerful for women because it's such a male-dominated culture in general. Like it's not like you're getting so much out of it because you're already having to live up to you're trying to live in a man's world already.
That is true.
Which
that
sucks.
Is true. Yeah.
So it's more. I think it's more challenging or interesting for men to dress up like women because then you see kind of what it's like when you're not a man.
You see the feminine coming out of that.
Exactly.
You know?
So I always encourage people, and I do have pictures. I might post one underneath this thing about when I've been in drag a couple of times, so it's fun.
Yeah, I like the one that you're all in white and sitges.
Oh yes, I got legs for days. Legs for days, I tell you.
So do you know anything else about this drag queen thing? Like when did it originally start?
I don't really know too much about the history. No, I don't. I think it was just men that really appreciated strong, powerful women. I think that's really what it was. And because mostly in history and with men, straight men, I assume, didn't really honor a powerful feminine force. I think gay men are the ones that really honored that powerful feminine. And so to want to be that for a little while made sense.
Could also be...
I'm making that up. I don't know if that's true.
Could also be that, like, for example, when gay men, you know, they really do feel like they belong more into a female body.
That's a different thing. That's even another...
It gives them the opportunity to really be.
That was when I dressed in drag, my mother, that was her first concern. She's like, you don't want to be a woman, do you? Like, what's his name? The one that changed from man to woman, the Kardashians' father.
Right. I don't know the name, but yeah.
I don't know his name either. But she was worried about that. And I was like, no, I don't want to be a woman. I just want to see what it's like to dress like one for one night. And I did. And it was fun. And I enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah. So that was that. That's what we wanted to... And so, so just the power of ritual and the power of fluidity in your identity, I think, are things that are worth exploring for everyone. Well, what else do we want to talk about? We want to talk a little bit about the Silva Method.
Of course.
So, as you guys, if you've been watching, you know I've been studying meditation. And it's been now like 8 or 9 months. And I'm coming across all these different new kinds of meditation. And there's this one that I just found out about called the Silva Method. And I think we mentioned it actually. We
did last time that we're going to start on the last show.
And in fact, we have. We started this morning. Vesta and I and my new business partner, all three of us this morning, upon waking, were working with the Silva Method. So this guy, he's from Laredo, Texas, and he was born like in the early 1900s, and he just was really fascinated and interested in.
His name is Silva, no?
So, yeah, that's his name.
Like
I think he has a Latino background of some kind.
Yeah, yeah.
So he just kept figuring out about brain chemistry and brain science and neuroprogramming, neuroscience, and this kind of stuff, and he just kept exploring this stuff. So he's got some method which we're just trying out. We're basically trying out for the next, how many days? 50 days?
50 days, yeah.
50
Today is day one.
Yeah. So we're doing we started today, this morning, and we're doing 10 days. Basically, when we wake up, the first thing in the morning, we're not in the same bed. When we wake up wherever we are, you keep your eyes closed, and you close your eyes, and then you look up with your eyelids closed towards your third eye. So I'm just explaining this to you in case you want to try this out.
Focusing up, yeah.
And if there's anyone that wants to explore this further, just comment below and I'll invite you to a group and we can explore it all together.
Yeah.
Basically, you close your eyelids, and you look up inside. And then what you're doing is you're engaging the alpha brain state. Oh, there's a kitty over here. We got a little kitty. Oh, I just want to let everyone know we're at the Centro Bollywood Masala.
Yeah, Bollywood Masala.
Masala here in the Raval in Barcelona. So there's the kitty. And so what you do is you look upward in your eyes, and then you count down from 100 to 1. So what you're engaging is the alpha brain state. So when you're sleeping, you're in the theta or delta state.
Yep.
And then in your waking hours, you're in beta state. In these moments when you're transitioning from sleep to waking or dream to waking, you move through the alpha state, which apparently is a very kind of juicy, fertile time for you to reprogram your brain and your thinking.
Or keep more of that alpha state into
the waking time.
Into the awakened time, yeah. Yeah, and what are the benefits of this?
So here's
working on the alpha state. Yeah. Like what can we expect? What's improved?
This is what I understand. It's just that you can start to reprogram the thinking that's kind of behind your thinking. You have your regular thoughts that you have, like, oh, that's a nice shoe, or it's cold outside. But then there's kind of like how you view the world. I think it's working on this perspective, like the kind of the broader thinking that we have, like the approach that we have to things.
Okay, so in other words, how would I describe it? Is like, when you're just looking from your conscious mind, it's like having a pair of glasses, so it's limited, as far as the glasses go with the dioptry you've got. But when you put them down, you've got much broader perspective of what's happening around.
And you don't even know when you're wearing these glasses. Like we're not born with them, but as we grow older, we learn how to look at the world.
Yeah, you should do this. You should do this. This is right. This is wrong. This is
exactly. So I guess in this alpha state, you have there's a fluidity. Which comes back to our fluidity. There's a opportunity to shift some of those background ways of seeing. There's a cat here. I'm afraid she's going to touch the. But she's fine. She's good. So what you actually do? Here she comes.
I think she's off to the drink.
I'm sure she is. Maybe
she's going to pass by the screen.
So what can happen is, yeah, baby. So what you can do if you before you do the counting down, you come up with an affirmation that you want to program into your mind, basically. So that's what we've been doing, is we've been coming up with this affirmation, Vesta and myself and Vincent as well. And then after you count down from 100 to 1, you actually then say this affirmation to yourself 3 times. And if you do that every day for 50 days, it's quite a powerful experience. So, we'll let you know. I'll keep commenting on this video thing below as we have our experience, and we'll let you know how it goes.
I must say, for the first time this morning was a little bit intense.
Oh.
Intense in a way, because I did woke up around 5:30, 6, so I was half asleep, half awake. I wasn't sure where I am, so I didn't think of it, right away. And then I woke up for a second time at 8, and I did it probably after 15, 20 minutes, not right away, but I was determined to do so. I was still in bed, so it's not like, I started doing things, I wasn't active.
We're just starting. We're just, the idea is that you just practice.
Never done anything like this. It's good to count from 100 backwards, it keeps you focused. I felt intense, just like, because you don't know whether you're looking upright, with your eyelids closed.
Finding the third eye.
Like, I know now that I'm focusing on my third eye, but when I close my eyelids, like, am I at the right place?
You kind of have to cross your eyes a little bit and look up. It's kind of like...
And it's intense because, like, you raise your forehead and you think, is this right? Because I was feeling pressure, but interesting.
Yeah.
Something that I would definitely continue because I was impressed, I purposely asked you for the benefits for the audience, although I've read them from what you sent me, and I was impressed with all the improvements that you can do, like self-healing possibilities.
Well, this Silva guy's got like 30 different methods. This is just one that we're practicing right now, but there's other ones, like a bunch. Yeah, if people are interested more in the Silva method, just comment and I can share more about it with you after the show. Yeah, so we're going to explore it. I feel really good today. I feel really empowered. I don't know if it's just that or other things that I've been dealing with.
Well, I mean, I slept 4 hours, so I'm doing well. But, you know, I think that, you know, if it really does improve your concentration, it does improve your decision making, you know, and like it provides you with more clarity, then it's definitely, you know, an extra pillar that I'm going to add to success.
Oh, good. Well, we're going to be talking about that in a moment. I just wanted to say one more thing about this, which is that for years I've been searching for some kind of morning ritual, and I don't think we've ever talked about this on the show, morning rituals. I really noticed it was a missing for me. Like I wanted to wake up and have a clear way to transition from sleeping to waking and kind of ground myself, center myself, and get productive. And I've been searching for it, and I've heard about lots of different methods for that and ways to do that. And I never was fully satisfied with those, and I've been slowly cobbling together my own kind of thing, which I now includes the Bowen technique, which I've mentioned before. I do a little bit of stretching in my upper shoulders. I do that. I do gratitude. I do my 3 things of gratitude, and now I'm including this thing as the first thing. It's this Silva method first. Then I get up and I did my Bowen technique, and I did my gratitude, and that's now my thing. I've actually got one. I'm just realizing I actually do have a. Do you
write down, do you journal, like this is what you need to do in the morning?
I have where I record it, like a place, which I've just added the Silva method to. So I look to make sure that I write down, exactly. Yeah. And then separately because before every one of these shows I do the 44 sun salutations, so I did that this morning as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no wonder why he feels so empowered.
Yeah, man. I've done all the things to shift my state to be able to be fully present for you
Someone
guys.
might get lucky tonight.
Hello.
Hello, boys.
I'm taking calls.
Happy Halloween.
So that's the Silva method, and there's just so many different kinds of meditation. I really encourage people, because we've played with a few different ones on the.
You know, and I have struggled. I must admit, you know, like I was much more disciplined in the past, and easier to kind of just go to just sink into a deeper state of meditation, just like that, just by sitting down, you know, and maybe chanting sometimes. But I think that was also a good influence from, you know, with the experiences from India and having Swamijis over, you know, sitting with them, like, so they already hold that energy because they do meditate on regular basis. So it was much easier to sink in, but I haven't been part of that for a very long time. Like, we haven't had visits from India for a while, which, you know, I would love to.
You'd like to go and visit India?
No, to have somebody
to welcome people from there.
To welcome people, you know, to provide classes.
Okay.
And I've been missing the meditation, and I know my body's been needing it because, like, there's this inner voice that tells you, you know what you need to do, but in terms of discipline, it's been hard. So when you suggested it, I saw it as an opportunity, because I know you're very disciplined, and you know, it's also about integrity and having respect towards
the pillars of success. This is
the pillars of success again, which we're going to go into now. So, like, even if you don't want to do it, you feel, you know, accountable and responsible to do it for the other person.
Yes.
And if you don't do it, when you receive that message from the person saying, check, you know, I've done it, you only feel bad about yourself, you know.
Like I said, I want to do this, and why didn't I do it?
So why not push? You know, it only takes 5 minutes. It's not a massive practice. So it will be interesting to see how it goes.
So that's the first pillar of success. I would say one of the most important pillars of success is having an accountability of some kind. And some people are able to do that with themselves really easily, or they develop themselves to be accountable to themselves. And then sometimes you need to engage other people and really create little mini groups. I do that all the time in my life. I create mastermind groups. I create accountability groups. You know, if you're noticing that you're not fulfilling on what you want to create in your life, make sure that you've got people listening for that. Did you do what you said you would do? Are you taking the action you said you would do?
Yeah. You know, speaking of the pillars of success, it's very interesting because, like, many people focus and actively work on, you know, on trying to stay disciplined with, like, different type of pillars of success, you know. And many people talk about these are the keys to success and this is what you should do. But not often is being paid attention to what is the pillar of failure, because it's directly linked to the success.
Okay.
So, like, we all have a charger so to speak, a motto that works here, that obviously is functioning, where it tells us what to do and how to do. Like, let's call it the ego, call it, you know, your personality, your consciousness, not your subconsciousness, whatever. And like, you know, you, as a person, you are a comfort zone, you know, and you want to go high up, you know, in a
stretch. Yeah,
to stretch, to go high up and grow, successfully grow. So, you know, for a couple of years you keep pushing and you do this and you grow and you do everything that you need to do to be as being, you know, all the key points of being a successful person. But this one thing, you know, the ego, whatever you want to call it, it's like, it says, hold on a minute, you know, you've been doing this for such a long time, you know, you've been doing this for so many years and you were doing that, but like, you know, I need to give you some rational lies, you know, and excuses to put you back into that comfort zone. And we've got this autopilot because this is how we've been conditioned, you know, like, and then you start getting with these thoughts that they're trying to justify you for not taking further actions, you know, to put you back into that comfort zone where you've been. Now, if you stay into that comfort zone for too long, you might actually go, you know, go a bit lower. And then when you are lower, you have to work even harder to get just to the comfort zone where you were.
So what's the strategy for failure that you're saying?
So what I'm saying is that I think it's not a strategy. I think the reason for failure is this ego that is always trying to put us back to where we were before.
The small self.
The small self.
Okay.
Same as like a ship.
Yeah.
You know, if the ship is an autopilot and you want to get to the steering wheel and you want to turn to the right, it will turn to the right. But as soon as you get your hands off the steering wheel, the ship will go back to the same direction where it was originally set for an autopilot. And this is how I think our minds are set, you know, for years and years, the way we're conditioned, that small, again, you know, view that we were talking about before, not having a broader perspective of life.
Okay.
So I think what most of the highly successful people are capable of recognizing this and are actively keep on using different type of pillars of success, whatever are the most suitable for them, to keep going on. But most important is finding and doing what you love.
Yeah.
Because if you don't love what you do, eventually, sooner or later, you will give up.
Yes.
Because the hard work is not providing you with any sort of pleasure.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to be an entrepreneur. It's hard to be a business person. It's hard to build a massive company. So you've got to enjoy what you do. You know.
One of the pillars of success: being clear about your passion.
Yeah, being clear about your passion. You're always better, you know, into simplifying it in good words.
It's my native language.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, being clear about your passion, but it's good to describe behind, you know, what I mean about it.
Oh, yeah.
Another pillar of success, what I would say, is having a mastermind group. You know,
it's a version of this support and accountability thing. Yeah.
Keep up of keeping up. You know, like, because like then when you are surrounded with like-minded people, you know that you are not alone in this mess. You're not alone in this journey of yours. You know. The destination is the same, but the roads lead different. So, you know, it's good to share, you know, with other people and keep empowering yourself or hold each other accountable. Hence the reason why coaches exist, whether it's a life coach or a health coach. It's the same with health, you know. That hence the reason some people, you know, they go on a mission and they lose 100, 200 pounds and then like they get to a certain stage and then they drop back to their comfort zone, you know. If you don't have that pillar of success of support group or someone else, you know, that serves as a support, you know, it's easy to drop down. What else? I think if you are an owner of a business, hiring people that are smarter than you, because then you constantly grow and expand.
I think with the one thing I would add to that, it's not that they have to be smarter than you, it's that they have to see you as bigger than you see yourself. Like they can have more knowledge than you.
In areas that you don't, maybe.
Yes, that's part of it. But it's, I think, more important than them having more knowledge is kind of like, not so much believing, it's like a version of believing in you. It's kind of having people around you that can see that you are capable of fulfilling your dreams. I think that for me is what I try to surround myself with. When I have a mastermind group, and been in mastermind groups, I want to make sure the people in that group are listening to me in a big way, like that they can see that I have big futures.
Okay, so that I would say it's a slightly different, my perspective,
yes.
Slightly different pillar of success, which is a very good one, because basically what you get empowered of by seeing that, or by someone showing it to you that you have been recognized.
Yes.
That way it shows you that you are doing a good job, and it serves you as a support and motivation to keep going.
That's a little bit different. That's like that's acknowledged. I get that,
which is a good one.
Yeah, it's also really important to make sure you're acknowledging your progress.
Yeah.
And what I was saying
through being acknowledged by others.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
And then also, like for example, I used the example of when the idea for the book came, I had someone that led me. His name is Seth Braun. I'm going to tag him underneath here.
Hi, Seth.
He's fantastic. He led me in this meditation, and at the end of it, I had a book. But he knew that I had something big to give the world. He's like, you've got something. So people around you that can see that you've got something to offer, even when you didn't see it. Like, I didn't know I had a book. I never wanted to write a book. But it was like he saw it, and then as soon as he saw it, I was able to see it. And, it wasn't exactly what probably he saw for me, but it was something, so.
Well, it happened to me yesterday on the phone call with a friend of mine who is also a health coach, and I'm going to mention her name, Anushka.
Anushka.
Hi, Anushka. She's based in UK, and we're both graduates the same year from IIN. And, so we all go through ups and downs, and yesterday it was my downs, so I recognized it. I tortured myself for a couple of hours because you go through your emotions, and we all go through that mental diarrhea. And I was like, right, I need to speak to somebody who's on my level, who's going through these things or has gone. Right, I sent her a message. I told her exactly how I feel, because you are observant of your emotions, and she was on my case, and she reminded me of who I am, why am I doing what I'm doing, and that I am already a success. It's just I can't see it yet. She can, and that was enough, to right. Okay, switch on. From tomorrow, new day, you start.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think that's an important pillar of success. Having people around you, not only that are successful or make a lot of money, but that or smarter than you, but that know enough about you to know what to acknowledge and what to remind you of who you are.
Sometimes even slap you. But I mean, like with words,
Wake the F up. Who do you think you are? Yeah.
Yeah. So what else? Positive attitude. I think it's important, despite all the bullshit you're going through. Again, keep going.
Yes.
Take a moment to breathe. 3 steps practice, meditation. Also keep people very mindful, and I think it really decreases the stress levels of bosses and owners and entrepreneurs. Another thing is that
I've got one.
Go on.
Integrity. I think this is a really critical one.
Yeah.
Like, if you cannot relate to yourself as someone that's their word, like that you do what you say you're going to do, you keep yourself small, and it's like it feels like the world is doing things to you rather than you are creating your world. And you cannot be successful if you think the world is doing something to you. It's hard for you to make a difference in the world and succeed in creating what you want to bring, what you want to bring. So developing your capacity to do what you said you would do and training yourself in that is a critical. I mean, I spent a few years developing that really deeply at a place called Landmark Education. I got a lot of good training from those people, and I, almost always now I do what I say I'm going to do, and if I don't, I don't apologize. I kind of ask, I check with people, and like, was there an impact for you? Was it negative for you that I didn't do what I said I would do? And just, I know myself as someone who will do what I say, and that's a powerful thing. If you want to generate a business, if you want to make a difference in the world, if you want to, if you have an idea, if you just say that idea and people are like, oh, he says things all the time, but he doesn't actually follow through on them.
Yeah.
That's different than saying, here's my idea and I'm serious about this, and they're listening. Oh, he's serious. Even like, for example, like, I think that's part of why when I raised the money for the book, like, people supported me because I was like, I'm going to write a book. And they gave me a lot of money. I got like $14,000, and it was like, because people knew that book was coming. Like, I had cultivated a listening of like, that man does what he says he's going to do. So I think integrity is a critical part of success.
I definitely agree with that. And the last thing that I was going to say about the pillars of success, is, it's one thing to, you know, it's important that you have a healthy business but a healthy lifestyle too, you know, because lifestyle goes together with the business. You know, if you look after yourself and you try to, you know when to pause, not to be so obsessed about it, you know, take a moment, you know, it also, you know, you create that healthy balance.
And for some people it's really simple how to take, like, to make sure there's a balance, because when I was in New York, it used to be like I would just get I would get a facial every 2 or 3 weeks, and that was enough for me. Didn't like go to spas or like big stuff like that. It was just like I just needed to do something little for myself every once in a while, and that was enough for me to feel nurtured and have a balance in my life. And I loved doing all the things I was doing. I was very busy in my life, so I enjoyed that. It wasn't a problem for me. It was fun. So so I think everyone has their own balance with how they create balance and what they need in order to feel good and balanced in their life. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
awesome.
We want to talk about also. Well, the show is ending, right? So this is our last show. We're saying goodbye from the Central Bollywood Barcelona as Central Bollywood Masala. Central Masala Bollywood or Central Bollywood Masala? One of these two. I will tag it below. So we wanted to offer, because I know that people have been watching, and maybe you haven't watched every show, but you've watched some of them. I want to offer you something. So what would you like to offer them, Paisna?
So if anybody is interested, you know, in getting more busy in the kitchen and they want to learn some healthy recipes, like, you know, whether that is you know, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I'm happy to offer like a free cooking class, you know, online via video. We can either do it through Google Hangouts or through Skype. And as we obviously talk about the ingredients and the preparation of them, we can also discuss about nutrition. So if anybody is interested, just comment in the comments below whether you want
tag yourself, you know.
Tag yourself, whether you want a healthy breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So
perfect.
And yourself?
Okay. So I never do this, but I'm going to offer, like, if you comment on this particular video, and I guess if it's on YouTube, they could comment there as well. But I will schedule with you a 30-minute private meditation session, because I'm so passionate about training myself and offering it. So it's scary to say it because now it's going to be out there forever. So, but if you comment on this thing, I will give you 30 minutes of my time to train you in helping you find your flavor for meditation, how it is that you can best focus in on yourself. So that's what I'm offering. And then the last thing, if that's not interesting for you, if you're not interested in meditation, normally I charge a small fee for my consultations with people, but I'll drop that fee. So I think it's like 10 euros or something like that. But whatever that little fee is, I'll drop it out. So if you're more interested in the coaching aspect, then you can have that. If you're more interested in meditation, just comment and tag yourself below, and you get that from me.
Awesome. And also, I mean, I do already give free discovery sessions, health sessions, to look a little bit into your main health concerns and the goals that you wish to achieve.
Indeed.
So just as a reminder, you're always welcome to schedule a free 30-minute session. I think usually goes more than 30 minutes.
You guys, if I had one thing that I would say, make sure if you do get some time with Vesna, ask her about the kombucha, because she makes a really kick-ass kombucha. Like,
I was supposed to bring it.
I know, and she didn't. It's okay, but I'll see you again.
I didn't remember.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll see you. And then there was the other thing you promised the audience. There was something you promised the audience. Oh, about the digital book. There was any progress with this?
Yeah, there is a small progress, you know, but like, you know, I'm posting things online and there is a small progress.
By when will this book be available?
I don't know. I'm not going to commit myself.
She's not committing herself yet.
You know,
I get it.
I started with the website now. That's going to be ready within a few days. Because I'm just changing themes, but I'm also changing hosts, because like I just wanted to have a faster
loading times.
Loading times, exactly. And but it will happen.
Okay.
There's few projects coming up.
I understand.
You know,
I have a few as well.
Yeah,
I get it.
And I'm hoping it's going to be exciting and good times to grow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, what's coming up over the next couple of weeks? You're going to Macedonia,
I'm going to Macedonia for a week. I'm going to continue with the meditation.
Yeah, the Silva Method.
Yes. Focus on the book.
Yeah.
And I also have upcoming 2 events. So Saturday
if you're in Barcelona.
Yeah, if you're in Barcelona, Saturday is yoga and brunch.
Okay. Fabulous.
And on the 22nd of November, I'm speaking at a studio for digestive health.
Okay. Gut biome time. We have a previous show on gut biome. Yeah. It's for me, I'm learning so much. I might even go, because that's really interesting for me, this world of the gut flora and the gut health. I think it's really important. I think it's probably the topic that is least being talked about that's affecting the most amount of people, I would say.
Yes.
I'd say
it's not just, this intestinal tract that we've got.
It has all kinds of effects outside of there.
Yeah, it's the key to like whole body, mind, and spirit. I mean, like if we have more than 100 trillion living cells.
That's how many organisms are inside you.
Inside your stomach, which is more than the entire body.
Madness.
And there's more nerve endings in your gut than in your brain.
Yes. And we don't know half as much. We don't know nearly as much about it.
Did you know that, like, if you put a needle in your brain, you don't feel any pain?
Right, there's no sensors.
It's just a fat.
Yep.
But if you put in your gut, there's lots of sensors, so you just go with your gut.
If you're in Barcelona, come to Vestance Talk. Where is it going to be? Do you know?
Yes, it's going to be on Kai Corsica, the chiropractor's office, but I can put some details.
Yeah, post it below, and then we can join. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. So, guys, it's been emotional. We started this journey in June, no?
So we started on the 21st. It was the equinox, right?
Yeah,
That's the
21st.
So we started on the equinox of summer, and then we're ending on the new year of the Celts. So I like these kind of things about it's good. It was an auspicious start and an auspicious ending, and it's been a pleasure for me to learn, grow, share, get your support and feedback. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it because I'm fascinating of the topics that came out and the richness and fullness of the conversations that came out. Actually, better now than before because we used to have music breaks.
Yeah, and at the radio show, we were always stopping for the music. Yeah.
Now we can really go deep into the subject, and I hope you enjoyed as well. We both are going on our own journeys, but we will be active on social media and keep you maybe up to date to what we're doing.
Exactly. If you guys, if you ever have requests for particular topics for us to get into, we could consider coming together for a special one-off Zest for Life postscript. I'm just considering if the demand is there, I would be up for it.
Yeah. So.
That's it for now. We done did it.
Or a big hug.
Stay zesty.
Big sister brotherhood hug.
Stay zesty, everybody.
Stay zesty. Love yourself.
We love you.
And love your body. Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye.